Cabinet meeting in Beştepe, President Erdoğan. We will have solved the problems regarding our Iraq border this summer. President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan said, "We are about to complete the circle that will secure our Iraqi borders this summer. We will have permanently resolved the issue regarding our Iraqi borders," he said, stating that the fight against terrorism will continue with determination. Erdoğan said, "We have preparations that will bring new nightmares to those who think that they can bring Turkey to its knees with a terrorism established along its southern borders." He said the cabinet meeting convened today under the chairmanship of President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan after a 2-week break. At the meeting, local elections on March 31st, the fight against terrorism and the latest developments in the economy were discussed. Problems on the Iraq border will be solved this summer. In his speech, Erdoğan said, "We are about to complete the circle that will secure our Iraqi borders this summer. We will have permanently resolved the issue regarding our Iraqi borders," said. President Erdoğan said that Turkey cannot be brought to its knees by a terrorism that is trying to be established on its southern border, and emphasized that the fight against terrorism will continue with determination. March 31 will be in the air of a democracy feast, stating that the relevant institutions are making preparations to ensure that the March 31st elections can be held in safety and peace. President Erdoğan said, "We are determined to ensure that March 31st, like every election, is held in the atmosphere of a festival of democracy. I hope that the election results will be beneficial for our country and cities," said economy messages. President Erdoğan, who also gave messages regarding the economy, said, "We are aware of the problems experienced recently. I explained with examples how the opposition, who said they will raise pensions by this much, talked nonsense. We will increase the income of our employees and retirees by beating inflation and continuing to grow. We will not leave any of our people in trouble," said. Highlights from Erdoğan's speech are as follows. "We held bilateral meetings with President Mr. Sisi in Cairo and with the participation of our delegations. Here, we talked in detail about trade and defense, especially the Palestine issue. We discussed common steps we can take to stop the massacres in Gaza. After our visit to Egypt, we made a Black Sea program. The Black Sea embraced us. My brother Aliyev, president of Azerbaijan, made his first visit to our country after the election he won. During this visit, we had the opportunity to review bilateral and regional issues. We are very happy to encounter the joy of our citizens in every city we visit. I thank my brothers and sisters who filled the squares. We met with 11 heads of state and government within the scope of the Antalya Diplomatic Forum. In addition to bilateral issues, our most important agenda item was Gaza and Palestine. Preparations were made for the March 31 elections. Our ministries and institutions have made the necessary preparations for the March 31st elections to be held safely. We are determined to ensure that March 31st, like every election, is a festival of democracy. I hope that the election results will be beneficial for our country and cities." Earthquake zone. We continue to work by significantly clearing our settlements of debris and raising the standard of temporary shelter areas. So far, we have delivered 46,000 residences and village houses to their rightful owners. As of April, we are increasing this number to 75,000. Hopefully, we will deliver 200,000 houses to their beneficiaries by the end of the year. Terrorism on the Iraq border will be solved this summer. We continue the fight against terrorism with determination. We are about to complete the circle that will secure our Iraqi borders. Hopefully, this summer we will have resolved the issue regarding our Iraqi borders permanently. Our will to create a 30 to 40 kilometer deep security corridor along our Syrian borders remains. We have preparations that will bring new nightmares. To those who think that they will bring Turkey to its knees by establishing a terrorism along its southern borders, we all witnessed together how our Azerbaijani brothers liberated Karabakh after a long struggle. We are following together how the Russia-Ukraine war in our north started, how it came to today and where it is going. We know very well how Syria is being tried to disintegrate before our eyes. This is what will happen to US if we don't be strong. Turkey is doing its best for Gaza and Palestine and will continue to do so. The future of any country or people that legitimizes the systematic usurpation of Palestinian lands that has been going on since World War II will not be secure. There is a need more than ever for the Islamic world to come together like the bricks of a wall when the acts of murder and theft that they consider appropriate for the Palestinians are applied to them tomorrow. These countries and people will not even have the face to ask for help from anyone. The purpose of this painful but true observation is not to threaten anyone, but only to remind what will happen in the future if we, as Turkey, are not strong with our politics, economy, defense industry, army, and institutions. This is what will happen to us. It means getting caught up in the excitement of daily problems and ignoring this great struggle of our country. It means throwing the country into such a vortex. We have come a long way in every sense in 21 years. We are not yet in a place where we feel truly comfortable and safe. We need a little more time to finalize the projects we started and to implement the programs that will follow them. We will see those days together. On the occasion of Khan, which successfully made its first flight, our progress in the defense industry was talked about a lot in our country and the world. Our defense industry moves were on the agenda of our interlocutors. Defense industry last year, we exported $5.5 billion by selling 230 types of defense industry products to 185 different countries of the world. Last year, UAV exports alone reached $1.8 billion. There is also great interest in our ongoing projects. We all saw the excitement caused by our Khan, which made its first flight on February 21st in many friendly countries. Every product that our country has designed, produced, and put into service already has customers, as long as we work with determination and complete our projects one by one. This table is very important for Turkey. We have experienced many times that the institutions we call our allies will not be there for us when we really need them. We do not forget those who distributed weapons to terrorist organizations that they did not sell to Turkey for money, and those who turned a blind eye to their use against us. We no longer care about who says what or what they want. We are now only looking at what Turkey needs. Growth figures. Turkey is going through a historic economic transformation. Every data announced indicates that our economy is rising on strong foundations. Despite the February 6th earthquakes and the election we suffered last year, our economy continued to grow at a rate of 4.5%, a rare rate in the world. The growth rate, which is 1.5 times the world average, proves the dynamism of our economy despite all the negativities we experience. It is important that about half of the growth comes from investments. Turkey will continue on its path by focusing on long-term welfare increases rather than short-term gains. We are determined to fight against inflation. We have not yet reached the point we want in our fight against inflation, but we are determined. We will achieve the same success this time as we saved our country from inflation before. The gradual decline in inflation expectations is a sign of faith in our struggle. The decline in global energy prices supports our struggle. Our tourism revenues break records every year. Our target in tourism this year is $60 billion. While implementing all these programs, we never compromise on financial discipline. We will continue to manage our fiscal policies with an understanding that will ensure permanent price stability, accelerate structural transformation, and create cities safe from disasters. The fact that our country's risk premium has decreased, our borrowing costs have decreased, investors' interest has increased, rating agencies' ratings have turned positive, and we have foreign exchange reserves of approximately $132 billion, shows that our economic program is on the right track. We are aware of the problems. As a government that has increased the minimum pension from 66 lira to 10,000 lira, the minimum wage from 184 lira to 17,000 lira, the disability pension from 25 lira to approximately 4,000 lira, and has increased the welfare level of our nation in every sense. Is it possible for us to close our eyes to the problems of our employees? Of course, we are aware of the difficulties experienced recently. I explained with examples how the opposition, who said they will raise pensions by this much, talked nonsense. We will increase the income of our employees and retirees by beating inflation and continuing to grow. We will not leave any of our people in trouble.